Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. Welcome to Ghuri Fire Obhijan Boi Niye Nahian, and today we are doing something very special. For the first time I have actually come to the place of a writer, and I will be talking with him about his book, which is A Slice of Paradise, and it's written by none other than Mehrab Masaid Habib Bhaiya, who is also the founder and content maker of Bangla Automobile School. And without having any further delay, we will be now talking to him. So, are you up for it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, we'll dive deep now.
Okay, sure.
So, Assalamu alaikum Bhaiya.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so I can see a lot of books in your writing table, I guess.
Yeah, writing and working table both.
So, do you read very often?
Yeah, you can say. But though when I was a kid or during my teenager life, I was not that much bookworm.
Okay.
But since 2015, I started reading book a lot.
Oh, great. And so your first book was totally engineering based, I guess?
Yeah.
About automobiles and
Yeah,
all.
it was about automobile engineering and it was written in Bangla. And I guess this is the first Bangla book in this country which is actually based on this topic, automobile engineering.
Yeah, that's
If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I also guess that's because I don't see any other book of that genre. So for writing an engineering book that's in the technology category of Rockamari best-selling list in the #1 position, how did you started writing fiction?
Well, if you want to know how did I start writing fiction, I guess this thing has been inherited from my mom, as she writes as well. So after writing my first book in 2017, actually I finished my manuscript of automobile book in 2017 and the
Okay.
book was published in 2018. Then when I finished the manuscript of the automobile book in mid 2017, then I started writing this book. And in Facebook there's a group called Dhaka 400 Years History in Photographs.
Yeah.
And over there the group members always post photos of Dhaka city,
Right.
of different areas of different era, like from
And of-
50s decade, 60s decade, 70s decade, and so on.
Right.
I used to see those photos, and by seeing those photos, I became so fascinated about this city, as I was brought up in this city.
Yeah.
And I realized that back in 60s decade, the city of Dhaka was so nice and much better than this age's Dhaka.
Right. So those photos from that old time of Dhaka, they inspired you to write this novel, right?
Yeah, and in those group members used to upload photos of Dhaka cities and several areas like Dhanmondi in 1960, Gulshan in 1965, etc.,
Okay.
etc. And I used to see those photos. And apart from seeing those photos, I used to read comments made by the group members in every photo. Like if you talk about Tejgaon Old Airport,
Okay.
like I saw a comment that a person wrote that he visited the airport back in 1966
Okay.
and he found a restaurant in the 3rd floor. He visited that restaurant. Moreover, he saw a person who was an authority of airport. He was typing in the teleprinter. Like these type of comments made me inspired or gave me some ideas.
Okay, so another fascinating thing that I observed in your book is that we can find a lot of illustration in almost every chapter. How did that idea come?
Are you talking about this?
Wow, yes, exactly the type of thing.
Well, you may heard the name of Satyajit Ray.
Yes, indeed, he's my favorite writer.
Okay, that's good. And as a Bengali, we all should know about him.
Yes.
Anyway, as he is your favorite writer, you must know that in every story written by him, there are some illustration related to the storyline.
Right.
So when I was reading his stories,
Yeah.
I was at the same time writing this novel.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I realized that if I put some illustration related to the storyline like him,
Yeah.
people who would read this book would not get bored and they can relate the story with the illustration. So that's why I gave the offer to my publisher Raju Bhai, and he hired Tanmay Bhai to draw all the illustrations, and even the Tanmay Bhai even drew this cover as well.
Wow, that's amazing, and it's a really amazing, beautiful cover, and that got me interested for the book in the first place actually. Okay, so coming up to the next question, that since this is the month of December, our time of victory, so I saw that your book ended in the Liberation War, during the time of Liberation War. So, and it was very much certain that you are very much interested in Liberation War, because the characters were also involved in the Liberation War in the crack platoon. So how was the thought process behind that?
Well, Liberation War is the pride of our nation, and I am proud to be a grandson of a martyr of 1971.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, I used to hear a lot about this Liberation War from my father.
Right.
When I was writing the book, I realized that I should not end the novel at the end of the 60s decade.
Okay.
I should bring the Liberation War in the novel as well, because it's the pride of our nation. So I ended the novel by inputting the Liberation War, and one of the characters of this novel was involved in the war, and he was a member of crack platoon, and he exploded many important buildings in the city.
Okay.
And moreover, the protagonist of the novel went to United States in the beginning of 1970 war. I mean, in the novel.
Yeah.
And he attends the concert for Bangladesh in New York in August.
Okay. So that's great actually. So from all this we can find that you are a very loving person, and you respect Bangla language and Bangladesh very much. But then this question comes to my mind, that why did you write this book in English instead of Bangla?
Well, if I had written the book in Bangla, only Bangla spoken people would have been able to read the book and get the idea and knowledge of Dhaka city of those days. But as I have written that in English, when I decided to write this book in English, I thought if I write it in English, then people of all over the world would be able to read the book and get the idea of this city, and then they can realize that Dhaka city was not less than any other city of any developed country back in 60s decade.
That's great, a very novel idea indeed. And before ending, one last question. What will be your advice to the young writers who want to write in English just like you?
Well, I would suggest them to set a background first, background of the story or the novel.
Okay.
Then they should read some book which will be helpful for them to get some ideas of the background. Then they should start writing, and even if they are not that much strong in English, they should write in their own way.
Okay.
And then after they finish writing it, they can edit it, and they can hire even a proofreader. He can do the rest of the works.
Thank you very much for giving this interview, and hopefully our viewers will be benefited and they'll be very much interested to read and know more about you and your books. Thank you very much.
Thank you.